this room woke up excited to pick today's email message or push notification? We got one lonely me in the back? Okay. Well, I'm with the rest of you. That's definitely not why I became a marketer, but that seems to be a lot of how we're spending our time. Selecting which message, on which channel, and to which segment, and then hoping that the message that we're sending to that segment really qualifies for everybody in that segment, and then we do it over and over and over again. And I think that you'll agree with me that something here just feels off, because the job of the marketer was actually always to get to know the customer really well, and then give them the best possible experience with our brands. So as I was introduced, I am Katharine Lucic. Hello, I lead product marketing in the North American region for MoEngage. We are a customer engagement platform and a Telium partner, and I'm very happy to be here with you today. So I've got a little story for you. It's 2018, and I am climbing myself out of the rental market in New York City, and my husband and I have just purchased our first home in the Hudson Valley. It's a lovely little oasis. There's even like a waterfall in the backyard. You should come for lunch. But at the time, I am trying to fill it with things that bring me joy, that make it what it should be. And one of these things that I am looking around for, needing to purchase, are pillows. So I've got some criteria for my pillows. It needs to be made out of some sort of material that's good for me and good for my family and the environment. It's got to be memory foam or something really supportive for my bad neck. And it's got to be the best in my price range because I'm just that kind of person. So I am researching brands. I am following social media accounts. I'm going to websites. I am chatting with chatbots. I'm chatting with customer support teams. I'm engaging with content. Done all my research. I find my pillows. I'm really, really excited for them to come. I buy them. The very next day, I get a discount code for 20% off of the exact pillows that I have just purchased. And to put it kindly, I'm confused. I feel taken advantage of. Like the company that I have just invested so much time and energy into and have built trust with is trying to pull one over on me. So being the type A person that I am, I take a screenshot of the discount code and I send it into their customer support team. The customer support team's great. They start rebuilding trust with me right away. I get the refund discount, fine, great. But that moment stuck with me. It had an emotional impact on me because I had invested so much time in getting to know that brand. And quite frankly, they had invested a lot of time in getting to know me, right? They had all of my customer data, but what they didn't have was a way to make a decision in the moment about the most important piece of that customer data, which is that I had already converted. And what's so frustrating, and especially I think to the people in this room, is that we all know that that's solvable. Because today we've got CDPs, we've got real-time data, we've got event streams. But what's not happening is we're not making the right decisions. We're still making those same decisioning mistakes like it's 2018. So I talk to customers all the time who are sending billions of messages. They're operating hundreds of campaigns at once across email, SMS, push, but their marketers are having to make manual decisions about the customer journey across each one of those channels individually. So email decisions happen in one place, push happens in another, SMS somewhere else entirely, and they're making those manual decisions in isolation without having that full context of what the customer is experiencing across each of those channels. I apologize. So when we're operating in that kind of mode, what happens? We have over-messaging, we have offers that don't apply, we have colliding messages. And so what do we do as marketers? Well, we decide, let's add another rule. Let's add more suppression logic, more manual overrides. But that doesn't actually end up fixing the problem. It just has our marketing teams making more manual decisions, adding more work to their plate, and putting another Band-Aid on the exact same wound. And the part that we're not talking about enough is the flip side of that, right? What is happening to the customer? So let's say that we send a message to 10 million customers, and 100,000 of them convert. Amazing, fantastic, we get to celebrate that. But the truth is that 9.9 million people just had anywhere from a mediocre to poor experience with your brand, and we don't want to talk about that. We don't want to report on that, but our customers are feeling it. So Telium and MoEngage are very lucky to have some similar customers, and one of them just happens to be the fastest growing cellular service in the US. They are sending messages to tens and tens and tens of millions of customers. They're processing billions of events per year, and at that scale, with the kind of setup that we just talked about, we know that it breaks. Excuse me. At some point, it was taking this customer over a month to launch just one single campaign. And it's not because they didn't have the best marketers in the business working on it. It's not because they didn't know what they wanted to do. It's because they were having to make manual decisions across each of their channels, handful of channels that lived across a handful of platforms manually. So when they moved over to MoEngage, it was a very deliberate decision to stop stitching together all of those disparate channels and the decisions across them. One place with a full view of the customer where automatic decisions could be made based on real-time customer data with context across all of those channels. And when they started doing that, when they moved to MoEngage, the results started speaking for themselves. They had double-digit lifts in conversion and engagement, and those campaigns that were taking over a month to launch started happening in days, and some aspects of them in hours. And what is really the story that I'm telling here is what's possible when we stop stitching together manual decisions across disparate platforms. And the way that this happens in MoEngage is twofold. So one is when you are engaging with a customer who's come to you, they're already with you, it's inbound across web and app. And the other way is through outbound messaging when you are reaching out to your customers. And the customer that I just spoke about is a really good example of that first way. But what is true across both of these layers of decisioning is that the marketer no longer has to be the person holding all of this complexity inside their head. They no longer have to be solely responsible for manually mapping out every possible customer path, for knowing exactly which edge cases are going to come up, or making sure that there is absolutely no offer collision. It frees the marketer up to be able to do what they really signed up for, right? To create great experiences with customers that they got to know really, really well. So the first way that I spoke about is called offer decisioning, and it is about inbound experiences. So your app, your website, anywhere that the customer is actively engaging with you. And before I explain how this works, it's worth clarifying what an offer actually means. So an offer isn't just a discount. It is any message that you want to send to your customer on those inbound channels. So at any given moment, there are multiple offers available for every customer. So MoEngage evaluates all of them in real time and picks one. And it's not based on a fixed rule, but it is based on customer behavior, context, and your business priorities. The marketer's job is to define what's available, who it qualifies for, and the constraints. So things like frequency caps and limits, how many times someone can receive a particular offer. And MoEngage then handles the rest. It decides which offer gets shown to which customer and when. So that customer that we just spoke about, this is what it looks like as customers are experiencing this across their app and their website. So different users are seeing different offers in the same place, and it's not manually configured. It is continuously decided based on what each individual customer is actually doing. On the other side, that second layer that I spoke about is campaign decisioning. Outbound messaging, email, push, the campaigns that you're already actively sending out. The setup is pretty straightforward. You start by defining your goals, repeat purchases, upsells, activation, retention. Then you set your guardrails, so frequency caps, cost controls, channel limits, then eligibility. Who should this even apply to? And then you give MoEngage your campaign options. From there, MoEngage's campaign decisioning evaluates what each customer has done, what's worked, and what's available to them right now, and decides what to send, when to send it, and where. And it just keeps adjusting based on customer behavior changes. And so that's the part that actually changes the marketer's job. You're not building suppression rules to catch edge cases. You're not finding out a day later that two campaigns hit the same customer in the same day. You're not second-guessing every send. So that complexity is being held by the decisioning engine. So you can focus on what actually moves the needle: better goals, better campaigns, and better outcomes. The marketer defines what good looks like, not in terms of campaigns, but in terms of those outcomes. What actions do you want more of? Do you want purchases, engagement, conversions? What do you want less of? Uninstalls, unsubscribes. And every time a message goes out, MoEngage evaluates whether it has moved you further towards your goal or further away from it, and over time it prioritizes what's working the best. So offering campaign decisioning together cover both sides of the customer experience. One handles what a customer sees when they're already with you. The other handles what you reach out with. And neither one requires your team to manually coordinate every decision across every channel. So when I think back to that pillow ad and that whole situation from the vantage of 2026, that problem is exactly what MoEngage AI decisioning was built to close. So with a real-time view of each customer, offers that adapt to where the customer actually is in their journey, and outbound messaging that stops being something that your team has to manually orchestrate across every single channel. Because nobody woke up today wanting to pick the push notification or the email message. We got in this to understand our customers and to deliver them not just better campaigns, but better experiences for every customer, every single time. That's it for me.